Aquarius, hello, welcome back to Medicine Tarot. This is your July 2020 energy forecast. I am going to get started. If you've never been here before, welcome. I'm obviously a tarot reader, something I never thought I'd say in my life. But I'm also a transformational coach, which is just a fancy way of saying I facilitate healing journeys for people, healing paths, right? The techniques I use are psychosomatic, so we work in the mental body and the emotional body as well. I found that it is the most effective and thorough way to create those deep changes. Most healing modalities just work in with thinking-based techniques, right? So you're talking about your problems, and you feel better, but it doesn't actually change the triggers and the wounds that are associated with, the anxiety and the PTSD and all the codependent, all the stuff that you're dealing with. We create through our emotions. We don't create through our minds only. We use both. So it's really hard for people to manifest the life they want when they're still dealing with a bunch of stuff. And it's part of my life's passion to help them do that, change that. I'm also on Patreon. I'm just setting up the cards here. I'm also on Patreon. I invite you there. We have a small group of people, so the readings feel more like private readings because I just read for those few people. Wow, really nice. You have a really nice, this looks good. Okay. And the content that I post on Patreon that varies. So we will do guided meditations and different articles, whatever is super supportive and helpful on our healing path, our spiritual journey, and all that good stuff. I just want to say, if you guys are dealing with a breakup and you are obsessively watching tarot readers, don't. The messages confuse you, and then you're just like more stuck and more confused. Go to one person and try to work it out. Who's this one? Yeah. Okay. Almost ready. Beautiful. Now, I like this because you're opening up here in July, right? There is an opening of sorts, and let me just see more clearly. Sorry. Changes in relationship status too, I feel like, and I can't see whether you're starting a relationship, you're still in one, all that stuff, but there's definitely some kind of change that is related to you lessening the burden, relieving the burden, and moving on up vibrationally, energetically into a structure within yourself that is more stable and within the relationship. And so there has been unrest in you. There has been this is the thought I got. You said, I really don't want this to be the same thing that it always is. I really wanted to prove me wrong. I wanted to prove all of my experiences wrong. I wanted to give me something new and better that I haven't had before. I wanted to prove me wrong, which is so sweet. And there's the big message there is drop your shields. And this advice is a big one for myself. The way that my emotional body has been tied up is I go into goodbye, putting up the shields. And so I really feel this card, and I hope you do too, Aquarius. Drop your shields from your heart, from your emotions. There's a time to protect ourselves, and then there is a time when we are over emphasizing something going wrong, the end. We're overemphasizing something potentially going wrong. And now in July, you're really transforming that guardedness. You're really smoothing it out and transforming it and making your inner structure more stable so that when you do approach relationships, you're like, you can't hurt me. Do you want to go out? Like, and you're free. You feel more liberated. And because of that, you're able to connect with your emotions on a deeper level. And connecting with emotions is what we call happiness. And everyone goes, I want to be happy, I want to be happy. And I do too. But if we're not fully in our emotional body, or like it's a scary place to go to, we're not going to feel happiness. We're not, right? It's just how it works. So, but I see you here in July dropping into your emotional body this is so gorgeous. I always have positive Aquarius readings. It's so crazy. Maybe I'm attracted to Aquariuses. Sorry, little joke. And I see you here in full. You feel good, like you're winning. It makes you feel like you're living your truth and you're aligned with your inner wisdom. Let's look at this deeper. Okay, just a second. What is this Justice card? The fastest way to say it is you are trusting yourself. That's the quick way to say it. You're learning to trust yourself. But another way you could kind of describe this occurrence for you is that the justice that you feel, like you had to go after creating justice for yourself and being in situations that are fair to you and saying no to things that are not fair and and like doing so much legwork. And now you stop doing that legwork and you're learning to trust yourself rather than to overemphasize what can go wrong, right? Which turns the wheel in your favor. Wheel of Fortune is here to say that fogginess is it's a minor shift, you guys. This is not something you're going to notice in a big way. I guarantee you you're not going to wake up and be like, oh, I remember that thing that tarot reader said. I guarantee you, but it's happening, and there's healing in that and a rebalancing, and this is ordained for you, this connection and trust back with self, this dropping of shields and realization. You could be healing from something too. And it's like the ending of the healing, and therefore, as you're approaching this new step, this new chapter, you're able to see. They're saying see beyond the current situation. See beyond. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just trying to see what happened, okay? No, but see beyond. It's kind of like focusing on the month of March in the school year versus looking at the entire school year, and then focusing on the school year versus looking at what education is there to provide and what the end goal is. And you're looking at the end goal and you're stopping the self-blame you had. You're learning to trust yourself when you're making judgment calls about what in emotionally in relationships doesn't work for you. And so there's just deep, you're like transforming your whole vibe here in relationships completely. And what is the advice here, quote unquote, is that you are super on point and that you need to keep trusting that. Keep trusting that and keep finding those areas where you're dropping your shields and opening yourself up, because as much as we like know what we don't want and all that stuff, like we're so with it, we still get guarded. There's change here about your unconscious mind too around relationships, and I want to say around your emotional body. And this is something it's been going on for a while, darling. It's been going on for a while. I'm going to look much deeper into this right now. Or actually, let's do that. Let's do that in the extended. Yeah, let's do that. No, just kidding. I'll pull a few more cards and then we'll see where that leaves us, because I just don't want to open Pandora's box here and then I'll get glued to it. You know what I mean? All right. There is a perspective here that you had around a relationship that is, okay. They're like, all right, listen, they had to call it quits on a relationship, and now they're changing their perspective and starting over and starting onto this new path because they had to zoom out. Something was confusing. The level of unhappiness that you felt in your power, I think this is a reoccurring pattern. And if I'm wrong, don't listen to me. But if this to me feels like a reoccurring pattern, and that now you may have like realized like what it is, and that you now want to close the cycle on this thingy. I'm closing the cycle, but I also need to realize that this doesn't need to happen again. This doesn't need to happen again. And that's why you're dropping your shields, right? Because when it's not healed, it's going to come back. And it came back again. And you're like, fuck, this came back again? And they're like, mm-hmm. So that we can fully grasp the big picture situation here, the big picture of you and the big picture of what's going on in the moon energy, the emotional body. Now, it's related to your power, and it's related potentially in your life to a Queen of Pentacles, an earth sign, male or female. It's not gender specific, but it an earth sign? Answer me. Right? Interesting. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. You won't be. But there's this sort of there was a re-emergence of something that reminded you of the past, and you're going, what? And so it's being brought up for you to now understand on a deeper level what is keeping this dynamic alive in your life, so that you can go about the business of the change and the dropping of the shields, the reconnection back to self-trust, and the movement forward in a way that is going to suit you. They're saying speak. This is what I heard. So I don't know why I heard this, but like, speak about your pain. And look, it says yes. speak about your pain. So maybe, speak about your pain in order to break free. Right, because it's something that's related to whatever. These are coming out crazy. Because it's something that's related to the way, I mean, your self-confidence, as it is for all of us. That's not like a, whoa, my self-confidence. But I don't want that to really affect you anymore. So for what it's worth, speak about your pain. Start that process now, because you're really gonna come into another kind of energy here in July that will open you up around the loss of this relationship and why it had to happen, why this thing is out of balance. You'll know. You're gonna know. Okay? If you need any help with this, let me know. My information is below. I send you so much love. Bye, Aquarius.